Mexicans are protesting in Mexico for illegal Americans to get the hell out, while Americans in America are protesting for illegal immigrants to stay in and for ICE to get the hell out. What a crazy world we're living in, huh? So there was a huge protest in Mexico City in Mexico. The Mexicans do not want what's called digital nomads coming to their country, and they want them to leave. For those of you who do not know what digital nomads are, those are people who have jobs where they can work online. But of course, because you can work online, you can live anywhere. So the job is not requiring you to come into the work site, the office, the facility. You can work online. And so what some people are doing is they are visiting other countries. I've known digital nomads to go to Portugal, Costa Rica, and many are going to Mexico. Americans have gone into Mexico who are digital nomads. In Canada, those are countries that are easy for them to get back into America if they want to, or if the job requires them to come back once a month or every other month, they can easily just come back. But they mostly work online. Well, these digital nomads are going into Mexico, and the Mexicans are saying that they are disrupting their country because they are considering them illegal immigrants. So there was this huge riot-like protest yesterday. And it's really funny because on 4th of July, the Americans, for example, in LA, were standing outside the federal building yelling at federal agents. I've seen videos where they're saying they hope the federal agents die. They hope the federal agents' children die. Just saying all of these horrible things to these federal workers because they're angry that the deportation laws are being enforced when it comes to illegal migration here in America. There is a big protest from the left wanting them to stay here despite the disruptions to our country, our economies. It's very interesting to see how the Mexicans, they don't tolerate stuff like that, and they are pushing for non-Mexicans and non-legal immigrants to leave. So the digital nomads that are coming down there on tourist visas, they want that stopped. And then some are coming down that aren't on tourist visas, that are just coming there, and renting their Airbnbs or hotels. And they're angry that they feel that they are not contributing to their society and they are gentrifying their communities. But it's okay in America for the Democrats to let millions of people pour in over the border. I've seen urban communities being gentrified. I've seen abandoned school buildings being converted into housing for illegal migrants. I mean, here, but down there, they don't play that. They don't want that.
These protesters in Mexico City say cross-border migration is changing their country's capital for the worse. Over the last decade, an influx of mostly American so-called digital nomads have moved here to work remotely and also enjoy a cheaper cost of living. Protesters say the newcomers have driven up rents beyond the reach of locals.
Principalmente si van a vivir If they're going to live in a country, they have to contribute to that country. The first and simplest issue is legal migration. They come here with visas or no visas, and still the change in purchasing power generates these problems of gentrification and displacement.
Okay, let's pause right there. Let's talk about that. When you get people with more money that are coming in through illegal migration, they're spending more money, it's causing the prices to go up for the locals. Okay, so they're seeing a rise in housing costs, and they're seeing a rise in just overall costs of living. Now, the same thing is happening here in America, where you have millions of people pouring in, and the demand for the housing, the demand on the school districts, the demand on the health care. They had, when the borders were open during the Biden administration, they were converting schools and hotels into living quarters for the housing market couldn't keep up with it. In Springfield, Ohio, there are people who are American that had trouble renting because the landlords were preferring to rent to the migrants because the government was paying for subsidized housing for them. So they were giving them way more money than what they would get on the normal market, that the normal market would allow. So when you bring more people in, there's going to be more consumption. Things are going to go up. That's what's happening here. So they're complaining that that's happening in Mexico. And I'm with these protesters. There should be legalized immigration. People should not be finding ways and loopholes around legal immigration. And immigration laws should be enforced. So it's really crazy how the American people, the liberals, the Democrats, are the opposite. They don't want legal immigration. They want open borders. The Democratic Party used to be a party for the working people of America. They are not anymore. They should not be in elected office. They should just be international immigration advocates, but they should not hold any elected office in the United States because they are not working in the best interests of the American people. So, just like the guy said, that with these digital nomads coming in there, pouring their money into the market down there, is causing the prices to go up, and the locals aren't getting that money that the digital nomads are getting. So they're not able to keep up with that cost. So you understand how this illegal migration thing, it's affecting people not just in the United States. And when people come here illegally, work and send money back to their home countries, that's also putting money in those economies and driving costs up as well. So there needs to be a controlled legal immigration system, and it has to be enforced. But let's continue.
I'm here because gentrification is just one more step towards colonization, dispossession, and the exploitation of our resources. Right now it's about the people, but it won't be long before they run out of oil, water, or lithium in other countries and come and take them from us.
So let's talk about what she just said about the fact that unchecked immigration, aka illegal immigration coming into Mexico, the people are concerned that they are drawing on resources. Okay, well, American people don't have the right to be concerned that their resources were being pulled on? I mean, make it make sense. It's okay for them to be concerned that their resources are being pulled on, But in America, you got these liberals and Democrats making it seem like we're wrong for being concerned that our resources are being pulled on. The American taxpayers, with the Medicaid, with the schools, with the housing, with all of the money that has to, the displacement of workers and jobs. We're not supposed to be concerned that Americans are being displaced out of jobs, housing. American neighborhoods are being gentrified. You look in California, some places it's totally gentrified, totally as if you're in another country. So, I mean, it's like you even had the vice mayor of the town in LA County who was encouraging gangs to fight ICE over the territory. You had Venezuelan gangs fighting the Chicago gangs up there over territory. You had people coming in here taking over whole apartment complexes like in Colorado. So, I mean, you know, it's like when American people speak out about how illegal migration is affecting them, people want to say it's xenophobic, it's racist, and things like that. That's not true. Even the Mexicans are wanting the Americans to be deported that are coming down there, and for the Mexican authorities and government to be stricter on people who are skirting around legal migration laws. But let's continue.
Many Americans in Mexico are able to still receive high salaries in dollars from U.S. companies by working on laptops from their apartments.
The government is directing its public policies towards people with higher purchasing power, often illegally displacing local populations who have lived in these neighborhoods for 40, 50, and we have even documented cases of up to 60 years. In 5 years, rents have increased by 47%. This is violent for the local population. We are debating whether to pay for electricity, water, or food. Of course, we choose to eat.
Some
Okay, pause right there. One of the things that he said was that the government is catering into the purchasing power of these digital nomads and creating policy to cater to the purchasing power of the digital nomads instead of the Mexican people. And that's the same thing that's going on here in America. You have a lot of these politicians that are catering to the needs of illegal immigrants instead of the American citizens and the legal immigrants that are here. And it's causing a disruption and chaos in our country. It's affecting many markets and in our country, from education to healthcare. You know, it's just getting ridiculous. Now you have these liberals that instead of calling the deportations, they're calling it kidnapping and disappearing and abducting and disappearing. And they're calling it concentration camps instead of prisons. You know, their rhetoric is just ridiculous. It really is ridiculous, and it's going to destroy the country if the American people do not come together. The American people and the Mexican people need to come together on legal immigration, period. All these people from all these other countries that are here illegally, you are being asked to please leave. If you do not have anything going on where you are in the process of becoming legalized or you have legal rights to be here, you need to leave. You are being asked to leave. This is not your right to just crash a country and start sucking.
activists blame Mexico's government for encouraging them. However, there's no simple fix. Imposing tougher visa restrictions on Americans could worsen relations with the U.S. Mexican citizens in the U.S. also send billions of dollars in remittances back to their families in Mexico. In a world where travel and communication are faster and easier than ever, these two nations are finding it harder to have neighborly relations.
What it boils down to are the people that are from these countries. They do not want others coming in, disrupting their country and their way of life. It's not just Americans that feel that way. Mexicans feel that way as well. And if we had reasonable, sensible elected officials that are not encouraging this ridiculous nonsense of illegal immigration, then we would be able to get along as nations, as neighborly nations. I think that the federal immigration needs to be enforced. The deportation laws need to be stricter and enforced when it comes to America, Canada, and Mexico. That way, we do not disrupt each other's economies. We do not disrupt each other's way of life. And Mexico needs to stop allowing these caravans to just flood up through their country like that. Because it isn't right. It isn't fair. They don't like when people come and disrupt their country. We feel the same way. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you're so motivated to do so. This is Wonders of a Black Woman.